Ole Miss and Missouri went into the quarterfinals against Arkansas. So the RPI is at 41 for the Rebels. With a win today, they probably knock that RPI down to the 30s. They'd be feeling really good about their NCAA tournament chances, and they have played their best softball of the year the last couple of weekends. Game 2 of 4 on the first full day of the SEC tournament. Away we go from Auburn, Alabama, with a strike. First pitch at 2:28 local time on a steamy, sticky May the 8th. And the Rally Rooster, Carmelo, is out with the visor with a come to the sip ball. Little accoutrement for the Rally stuffed rooster.
Wait, just
made
a
his way to the dugout.
quick side note. You're calling that a visor or are those sunglasses?
Visor sunglasses.
Okay.
Visor sunglasses, yeah.
Okay.
That's like the snowboarder sunglasses that they wear.
I think sometimes Jayla Lassiter wears glasses like that.
Ball. Takes one inside. The plate umpires Tom Meyer in game 2 today. Brian Crochet at first. Smokey Eds is at third. Jayla Lassiter had another good night yesterday. Sacrifice button, a 2-run home run. Spearheading the Ole Miss offensive attack. Lassiter takes in the dirt. 3-1 to start the game from Lauren Krings. It's an Ole Miss team that won back-to-back series to end the year. Auburn and at Arkansas. First team to beat LSU at the start of SEC play. Lassiter rips one out of play. 3 and
Offense came out swinging in yesterday's game. 2 home runs that they hit against Kentucky.
Krings 3-2s up and away. Lassiter with a leadoff walk to get the Rebs started. Second game in this quadruple header today that started with the leadoff walk. Alabama got one from Cahalan and scored 2. And now Ole Miss will try to dent Krings with Jaden Pone. First year at Ole Miss, had a terrific first year, hitting .352 with a .416 on base percentage. Pone shows bunt, lays it down toward third, and Pone is retired there. That's a third baseman, Kara Daly. A sacrifice bunt for the game's first out. Lassiter takes second.
And that execution is something that the Ole Miss offense did really well in yesterday's game as well against Kentucky. A couple of home runs, hits with runners in scoring position, good execution in terms of a bunt, sacrifice fly. Did a little bit of everything in yesterday's game. Scored in several different innings. Scored in most of the innings, actually.
Here's Paige Smith, who brought in the first run. Off speed strike starts her. Been a very difficult SEC season for Paige Smith, but she broke out in a big way last night. 2-2 pitch in the first inning, drilled it out to left field. Big rip there, and Krings with a good change of speeds on those first 2 pitches. Oh, the dangers of getting to the field early. At least it's their home field. The Auburn Tigers here at Jane B. Moore Field. They will play Georgia 35 minutes or so after this first game ends.
You know, it's interesting. I feel like both of the coaches that we talked to who pointed out specific players who thought that they would have a great SEC tournament coming into it. Well, one was Jamie Traxel pointing out Paige Smith, feeling like she was going to have a good SEC tournament and had a great first game yesterday, including that home run in the first inning with 2 outs and 2 strikes to put them on the board first. And then the other one was Beth Torina saying that Sydney Berzon was really excited for the SEC tournament, and all she did was pitch 14 innings earlier today. Complete game win, over 200 pitches thrown for her. So I'd say these coaches know their players pretty well.
Did we get a player to watch from Larissa? I'm not sure we did. In the air to left from Smith, a big swing. Cahalan had to come in after starting back, and Claire Cahalan puts away the second out. That, for those of you who watched the first game, is called a flyout.
We're very versed on infield ground balls.
Yes, we certainly are. Sydney Berzon threw 14 innings and had about 9 innings worth of groundouts. Ansley Furbush red hot in the designated player spot. Furbush takes one out to right field, and that ball's caught by Kaylee Lenger, who made the right step at the last moment.
Brady shake the home plate umpire's hand. Love that catcher umpire connection there.
Lopez off the bench yesterday, out of the bullpen, was terrific. Threw 29 pitches, 20 for strikes, and retired all 7 she faced. We'll see how long she goes, but certainly makes sense with 4 of the top 5 left-handed in the Missouri lineup to keep rolling with Lopez, whose changeup yesterday was as dominant as maybe any pitch we've seen in the league in a while.
She constantly changes speeds. It's what makes her so effective. She throws her changeup or she changes speeds 52% of the time, which is the highest percentage in Division I softball.
Jenna Laird leads off, takes a slow high strike, 2-1. Senior from East Meadow, New York, Jenna Laird. Another terrific year. 436 on base, a lot of stolen bases. Ball. Been a little more limited physically this year, Larissa Anderson told us, but she showed a little more power the last weekend. And Missouri's series sweep of South Carolina. Felt like she saw more this weekend than Larissa had seen all season. There takes one low, a leadoff walk for both pitchers, and a good base stealer.
These hitters are going to have to be patient and try to get on time.
There goes Laird. She's on the way to second, and she's in there. That is, I believe, our first stolen base of the SEC tournament.
Easily gets in there with that one. 17 stolen bases for Jenna Laird.
Ball. I don't know, shows, but am I forgetting one?
No.
I think so. Apparently earlier, though, I was talking to you and I didn't realize it in the first game, so I just want to double check everything today. Apologies if I left you high and dry.
It was a long game.
Yeah, it was 14 innings. So runner at second for Honold, who takes one high. Laird is getting huge secondary leads off second, and Missouri's speed can really mess with opposing pitchers.
Alex Honold can hit for power, but also has really good speed too. And this Missouri team stole over 100 bases last year. This year they're sitting at the 59 mark, and talked to Larissa Anderson about that, and it's because of the rule change with the review. A little bit more fearful that somebody's going to review it. Her base stealer is going to get called out, so she hasn't done it as much.
Strike 3. Lopez fires one past Honold, and again, with that changeup, 62 looks a lot harder.
Brie Lopez goes to this curveball, lefty on lefty matchup. Great spot right there on the outside corner. Lopez has such good mechanics. I love watching her pitch with how she varies speed so much throughout every at bat.
1 on, 1 out for Maddie Gallagher. Ball outside. Been a career year for Maddie. Career highs in average, on base and slugging. Her most doubles, her most steals. Her first year with multiple home runs. And she's terrific with runners in scoring position at .388. Missouri got Gallagher from South Carolina with a reputation for defense. Terrific infielder. Now she's expanded her game. Now she's hitting third for a team that is 40-14.
Oh, dropping it down to 49 now. And Missouri is a team with Larissa Anderson as their head coach and pitching coach. They pick pitches a lot. Heard them yelling to Maddie Gallagher is a little bit late, but they knew that that changeup was coming as her motion was coming through.
Gallagher smokes it to shortstop. It's a double play. Hit it right on the screws, but right. And that is great television. That is what softball is all about. It's the swings and the pitches, and it's also the rally rooster. It's Carmelo. Looking like he's ready to shred some snow. I believe gnar is the official term. 7-2 was the Ole Miss win yesterday behind the rally rooster, Carmelo. Angelina De Leon grounds one foul. It's a really good offensive game for Ole Miss. 7 runs, the most by a 13th seed in the SEC tournament. Well, the record had been 3, so they more than doubled that. Faced 4 Kentucky pitchers. Scored off the first 3.
I think that's just another thing that tells you the depth of this league. When the 13 seed in previous years had scored 3 runs, and that's the most, and Ole Miss being able to put some things together yesterday offensively, and their pitchers look great too.
Angelina De Leon on an 8-game hit streak. De Leon goes up the ladder to foul one away from Lauren Krings. De Leon, Brady, and Rummel, and all of a sudden De Leon's really hitting it well. Brady's having a terrific year, getting on base a ton, and this Ole Miss lineup looks a lot deeper. They even got a hit, a walk, and a sac fly from Starr, and then the pinch hitter Orman out of the 9 spot last night. De Leon on the ground to third. That's Cara Daly territory, and De Leon is retired. 4 in a row cut down by Krings after the leadoff walk.
And that was that drop ball that she's wanting to throw a little bit more here late in the season, give a different look. Not a high percentage pitch for her. It's more her curve, rise, and her changeup. But that drop ball has been effective late in the season.
On away, Lexi Brady. Ball. Lexi put 1 ball in play yesterday, and it was a fly out to the wall in right center. It was robbed by Vanessa Nesby. Then she walked twice, was hit by a pitch, and ended up with an RBI. Her on-base percentage is a gaudy .457. Ball. Between walks and times hit by a pitch, 52 free passes for Brady, junior from Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Changeup there. Her changeup seems a little bit fast at this point in the game. And that drop ball was something that Larissa Anderson wanted her to bring a little bit more to the Mississippi State series a couple of weeks ago. And she told her, look, make your drop ball your second best pitch. Teams are going to struggle with it. No one's going to expect it because they expect you to be more up in the zone. And so since then, Mississippi State and South Carolina series, they've been throwing it a little bit more to give teams a different look. It's hard to be a senior when teams know you so well. And she pitched behind Jordan Weber. She was the number 2, and this year Jordan Weber graduates. She becomes the ace. Sierra Harrison becomes the number 2. It's a different looking pitching staff, but Lauren Krings has really embraced becoming the ace, getting the games 1 and 3 of a series.
Brady in the center field. Routine for Alex Honnold.
And she's just grown and continued to develop this season, even pushing for that drop. That's a prime example of wanting to give a different look, wanting to be better for your team, wanting to pitch more and go deeper into game 1 and game 3 and try to get both wins.
To away Delaney Rummel. Larissa Anderson feels like there are not a ton of great drop ball hitting teams in the league, which makes it such an effective weapon. 2.73 ERA for Krings, less than a hit an inning. Not a big strikeout pitcher. She used to be more of a strikeout pitcher, but the walks are in a very good place. Even though her strikeouts per 7 have declined every year, her ERA has improved every year. 2-0 for Rummel.
And she'll average 68 on her hardest pitches, and her off-speed pitch, that changeup, is usually about 58. So not a huge gap like you see with somebody like Bree Lopez, who dropped her changeup down to 49. You're going to need to locate, I think, that pitch a little bit more to get some down movement to it like that. That's a good miss. Good adjustment with that pitch when she missed it a little bit more up and it was flat. Throw that pitch in the dirt and then adjust the next pitch. But opponent's only hitting 170 on her changeup. The D1 average is 231. It's her best swing and miss pitch, too, is that changeup.
Looking for a strike on 3-1. Rummel takes one. That's 70. Right in there for strike 2. '26 start for Krings out of 55 Missouri games. She and Sierra Harrison have started 46 of 55. This is a legitimate staff. Marissa McCann is typically their middle reliever, and then they have Taylor Pinnell, who leads the nation in saves with 12 at the back end. 7th pitch to Delaney Rummel, and it is grounded fair this time. The shortstop, Jenna Laird, ends a 1-2-3 inning. Good start for Lauren Krings, national champion in that time. And they haven't had a team in the Champ Series since Florida in 2017. It's an oddity. This is the best league in softball, top to bottom. Everybody knows that. Everybody acknowledges that, or almost everybody. The depth of it, 12 of the 13 or 13 of the 13 teams every year make the NCAA tournament. But they haven't, until next year, had Oklahoma. They haven't had UCLA. They haven't had the national champion now for a long time. Alabama and Florida are the last two to do it. But this SEC championship list drought is the one thing you can say to dent an otherwise pristine league. Does anybody have a chance to do it this year? Probably Tennessee, the favorite in this league. They'll play tomorrow as the 1 seed against LSU. Outside to Abby Hay, 2-2. But nobody's won it since Florida in 2015, so I will pose the question to you shortly once we see what happens on this 2-2 pitch, because 2-2 is never a good time to ask a question. And strike 3 called. Hay goes down looking. The second K for Brianna Lopez.
Never a good time to ask a question, but always a great time to throw a changeup. This is more of that horizontal backspin off-speed pitch that Bri Lopez will throw. She'll throw it with topspin, and then she has another changeup with that horizontal backspin to it. 2 different looks out of her hand, and the way that she throws it too, she hides the ball so long in her glove. In her windup, goes to more of a pump in the front, and the ball stays in her glove until her ball goes above her head. That's to hide her grip. She actually used to come with a backswing similar to Anna Borgen, who was a lefty at Ole Miss, and that's what she looked like when she was pitching at Hawaii. But they changed her windup in order to hide that grip because of the knuckles that she'll put on her change. Nasty. I mean, that's that down spin one. That is such a good pitch. When you can spin 2 different changeups like that, it just gives hitters fits.
Stefania Abriscato's had a terrific freshman year. And Abriscato takes one at the knees at 64.
And you're hearing Missouri in the dugout try to pick it. Even just then they said sit. I don't know what Bri Lopez maybe did a little bit differently to hide that, but sit is usually the key for a changeup, and that was still at 64, so not as slow. There's the over-the-top one, 48 miles an hour. And you have a couple of knuckles on the ball.
Deep to right from Julia Crenshaw. 2 strikeouts in the inning for the SEC tournament. This is their 11th. They've only won multiple games once. The tournament, whose highlights you just saw. Gonna win 2 here. Hard to say if they would seal an NCAA tournament berth with all the uncertainty, but with an RPI of 41. A win over the RPI number 9 team would make Ole Miss feel very good about their chances of making it back to the tournament. 0-2 for Jamie McKay, the number 8 hitter, leading off in the 3rd. Jamie Traxel's in her 4th year at Ole Miss. She's made 10 of 12 NCAA tournaments as a head coach. North Dakota State, Iowa State, Minnesota, Fastest Ole Miss coach to 100 wins.
I feel like if you're in the 30s in RPI trying to get an at-large bid, you're feeling pretty confident. When you start to hit that 40s range, now you're thinking, oh boy, let me take a look. Let me pull out my resume and look at what these other teams are doing around me. What bad losses do they have? What good wins do they have? How many top 25 wins do they have? What's their strength of schedule as Krings gets a swing and a miss on a rise ball, goes up in the zone.
First strikeout for Lauren Krings.
This rise ball gives a different look, and when she is able to create that vertical separation, goes down with her drop and then up with that rise, her drop ball only makes that rise ball look even better to these hitters.
Ryan Starr in the 9th spot. Ball. Takes one low. Well, Ole Miss has something that not a lot of teams on the bubble can say. They have 2 wins against the number 3 team in the RPI. That was at LSU, start the SEC year. 2 wins at Arkansas last weekend as well. Is this a rally rubber duck we have now? Somewhere Jamie's blocking the rally rubber duck. Ryan Starr was great defensively yesterday, and that's why she started every game this year, despite hitting 176, 252 on base. But she helped out her own cause yesterday with a base hit and a walk. Starr slaps one out of play, 2-2.
You know, if on Sunday Ole Miss does hear their name get called, it'll be because they worked their way into the tournament. It wasn't looking great for Ole Miss, call it halfway through the season, but they came together and turned things around to play every game as if it was their last, to play every game as if it was a meaningful playoff game. I mean, even heard Paige Smith talk about it to Alyssa after the game yesterday. She had a great game, and she said, we've been playing like this, backs against the wall, needing to win for a while now. So really, we're kind of used to the pressure and playing on the road and feeling like we need to win.
Jamie Traxel told us they've been in playoff mode for about 4 weeks. 3-2 for Ryan Starr. They practice with intensity. Jamie Traxel has always done that as a head coach, and she feels like the intensity and the passion have been there the last month. A slow ground ball from Starr to second. Maddie Gallagher throws her out. And after walking Jayla Lassiter, Lauren Krings has retired 8 straight Ole Miss batters. Here's the breakdown for the senior Krings, who loves pitching at the SEC tournament. Trying to get rid of Lassiter, facing her for a second time. Ball. 2022, Krings was on the All-SEC tournament team. She pitched a 5-hit shutout of Alabama, the 2 seed in the SEC quarterfinals. Missouri made it all the way to the championship game as a 7 2 years ago. Smoked to left field, and Lassiter has the first base hit for Ole Miss.
Jayla Lassiter recognizes this mistake that's out over the heart of the plate, and that's about a ball on, but she's ready for it. Looked like more of a mistake whenever that pitch was live. It hit a corner just a little bit up, and she's ready to turn on it. You can see the power from the home run to that swing right there. What kind of power that Jayla Lassiter has on the inner half.
Strike to Jaden Pone with Lassiter dancing around first. Lassiter, terrific base stealer at first. Not going here. That ball grazes the bat of Pone for strike 2. Jayla Lassiter gets on. Ole Miss gets wins. Often the leadoff hitter is their spark. This is pretty distinct, though. 407 in the wins, 14 extra base hits, only 2 extra base hits in the 24 losses.
Oh, outside.
She's the tone setter. That's why they put her at the top. That's why they want her to get up more times than anybody else on their team. The speed, the power, the athleticism, she truly does it all.
One, two. Lassiter was on the run there as Pone flared it foul.
And
it's still spinning.
Ball, yeah.
It's like the ending of Inception. That's a movie, Amanda?
Not a great movie person.
Up and in.
Looks like he's
like
calling.
it hit the bat.
Yeah, foul ball. Looks like it hit off the knob of the bat, and Coach Traxel's going to ask about it. Yeah, you can see the barrel move, the knob move.
So a 2-strike knobber, and Pone will stay in there. And ground one right back to the circle. Little shovel pass from Krings gets her out of a third. Scoreless.
The stop sign, guys.
Vision is an important part of being a running back, Alyssa. You make a great point. And thankfully, Larissa is A-okay after taking that mighty, mighty blow at third. My favorite part of the play was that Cara Daly got up and tried to call obstruction.
So good.
Obstruction on the coach.
That was my favorite part, too. You don't see that all the time, and because Larissa Anderson ended up on the ground, this is what the freshman Abby Hay did, and put out a chalk outline with balls and caution cones around it. This is exactly where she fell, exactly how she was laying, and for a freshman to do that to your head coach is just hilarious. And Coach Anderson said, I'm really nervous for Abby Hayes' senior year because she's already this out of her shell. And I think that everybody can laugh about that play a little bit more because, Missouri went on to win that game.
Cara Daly here will spray one to short. Starr snares it. And Brianna Lopez has the first out in the home third.
Number 99.
By the way, Abby, Larissa Anderson told us, ran to the field as soon as they got off the bus to put that tape down. Before Larissa could even get to the dugout, the crime scene was in place. Kaylee Langer, the number 8 hitter.
Ball outside.
I think that's just a sign, too, of how loose this Missouri team is playing late in the year. For Cara Daly to be able to laugh at it, come up, say obstruction, for Abby Hay, the freshman, to do that. I think that this team is playing their best ball late in the season. They've won 5 of their last 6, and their one loss was to Mississippi State, and they were 1 pitch away from sweeping Mississippi State. It was 2 outs, 2 strikes, but Mississippi State made a comeback to win that game, and it was all Missouri before that, really the entire weekend.
Ball.
Kind of refreshing how honest Larissa Anderson was with us, saying that last year the team was less about winning and more about selfish individual stats. The mentality had to shift, and it did, to be team first.
Ball.
And if anybody ever brings up something about themselves around this program, the response now is team first. She said they even call me out sometimes. They'll say, team first, coach. In fact, they called her out a couple of nights ago at dinner because she broke Missouri's no swearing policy and had to do a burpee. It wasn't much of a swear. In fact, maybe we could get away with saying it, but we won't, just to be safe. But she had to do a burpee all the same because it wasn't team first. We have a pitch violation, the first pitch timer violation of this SEC tournament, and an automatic ball, as this says, to Bri Lopez. Jamie Traxel, I think, had a problem with whether or not the clock reset.
I think that's what she's saying. Hearing her, y'all never started it, is what she said. But we're getting word that it did indeed start.
So an automatic ball one. Pitch was not thrown in the 20 seconds. There is the ticking clock.
Ball.
So Cahalan starts 1-0 and takes a first pitch ball to make it 2-0.
The other thing that I wanted to follow up about this team first mentality, team first, they say it every single huddle at practice and at games. And then also Coach Anderson wanted to make their practices more centered around situational hitting and executing and made it more about what your at bat means for the greater good of the game.
They really use the transfer portal very sparingly. Lopez after the visit fires in strike one to Claire Cahalan. Freshman's only starting her second game of the year. She's 3 for 14, a couple of walks on the season. She's played in 41. And a big chance here in the SEC tournament. And Cahalan jabs a bunt foul to make it 2-2. An early show of McKenna Cleathermos in the Ole Miss bullpen. Lopez about to finish one time through the lineup. Cahalan pops it up. That's the second out.
All different types of arms on this pitching staff for Ole Miss. A lot of different strengths. Of course, Bree Lopez is the changeup specialist. McKenna Cleathermos is more of a power upspin pitcher with a rise ball, and that's Grace Sparks from last night. She got the start and the win. More of a down baller with her drop ball.
First time through the order, batters hit 204 against Lopez. The second time through, that jumps to 271. She's facing Laird for a second time as the Missouri card turns over. And Jenna takes a change up for a strike. It would not be a surprise to see at least 3 Ole Miss pitchers in this game. 5 pitchers that have thrown 60 innings or more on the staff. Laird waits back, loops one into center field for a base hit, and there goes Langer, who was running on the pitch, and she is safe at third. Just snuck in under the tag, and that enables Laird to get to second.
This ball was up in the air for a long time, and Jayla Lassiter, as Jenna Laird sat back on a changeup. I thought maybe, just maybe, she could have gone for that in the air. Instead, she decides to let it drop. And you mentioned it, Langer was going on the pitch, saw that ball up, hesitated just a second, and then got herself into third. A hard tag made by Rummel there at third base, but Missouri is in business here.
The first Mizzou hit of the game brings up Honold with 2 on.
Ball.
And Honold takes a high changeup. Lopez has thrown a first pitch ball to 8 of the 11 Missouri hitters, including all 5 in this inning. And Honold explodes in the air to right center field. That ball clangs off the base of the fence as Honold brings in 2 and opens the scoring in game 2. It's Mizzou on top on the double from Honold, her 21st of the year.
Look at her stay in on this pitch. This is a backdoor curveball. Starts at her hip and then breaks over the inside corner. She doesn't flinch at all. She is on it. Drives that ball all the way to the wall, and Missouri scores first in this game.
Ball.
And as Alex Honold came into today 6th in the NCAA in doubles, the SEC leader with number 21, and she opens Missouri's account here in the postseason.
Ball.
Missouri record holder, lingering off of second base. And the second time through proves to be the doom for Lopez. Gallagher out in front of a 2-0 changeup.
Call Maddie Gallagher the glue to the team. So positive, vocal on defense, great leader for this team.
Ball.
Coach Anderson talked about how she's gotten a lot stronger since she came to Missouri. Higher exit velocity that Missouri, their offense, puts a lot of focus on is that exit velo at practice. Makes competitions and challenges for it.
Ball.
It's a walk for Gallagher. Lopez stayed in to face 3 straight lefties at the top of the lineup. All 3 reach. And even with a right-hander, Cleatherm ready. Jamie Traxel is going to stick with Lopez to face Abby Hay with 2 on and 2 out.
Ball too high.
Abby Hay has been such a pleasant surprise for Missouri here toward the middle to end of season. She played baseball her entire life until 10th grade, and her dad actually played baseball at Missouri. And she was not only a pitcher, but she also caught too. So she's pretty baseball minded, understands the game within the game better than anyone Larissa Anderson has ever coached, she said.
Struck out looking her first time, ready for a 1-1 here. Her mom was a Missouri athlete as well. Her mom, Amy, was a golfer at Mizzou. So parents both played at Missouri. Abby's from Columbia. Feels like this was destiny, and she's been their best hitter since the start of SEC play. In the air to right field, that ball blasted down the line, but foul.
Coach Anderson said that she just processes things different. Every pitch that she's thrown, you can tell that she's just processing and gaining information. And Coach Anderson said too that she asked great questions. Things like, okay, coach, based on the height of my leg kick, would you pitch me any differently? Like very detailed, specific questions, wanting to know more and get better.
Honnold and Gallagher, the runners in front of her here. 2 in the inning for Mizzou. Hay waiting as long as she could possibly wait to spoil that changeup.
And even waiting for the pitch to come. She put her hand up and wanted time, but with the pitch clock, she wasn't granted time.
Seven RBIs in the last 8 for Abby Hay.
Ball.
Hard and in the dirt from Lopez, 2-2. McKenna Cleatherm is still throwing in the Ole Miss bullpen. But Lopez is out there, having given up 3 2-out base runners. That ball is belted up the middle. Abby Hay with a laser beam into center. Honnold's coming to the plate to score. A 2-strike delivery, a mash up the box from Hay, and it's a 3-run third for Mizzou.
What a great at bat by the freshman Abby Hay, who has been a leader for this offense. Got her hands out to that pitch, curveball that just didn't find enough of a corner, is more out over the plate, and Abby Hay barrels it up toward the middle of the field. Missouri.
I mean, she dazzled in relief last night. She dazzled the first time through.
That's actually
just got dinged for.
And this is something that, in my opinion, has been a little bit confusing with the pitch clock, is sometimes there will be a timeout called, and depending on what umpire you get, some will allow it and some won't. Some will only allow it if there's like a bee on you or like pitch comm issues. If there's like a real issue, if you're just calling timeout to call timeout, some umpires will not grant it, and then it will be a ball on the batter, or if you're the hitting version, then it would be a a strike on you.
I wonder if Tom Meyer is a little less lenient too, because they just had a meeting at the circle with the whole infield to then run out of time. So an automatic ball, then an actual ball, and now 3-0 for Abrascato.
Seemed like at the beginning of the year we were understanding that the pitcher and batter would each have a timeout per at bat, but that, as the season has gone on, is no really longer the way to identify that.
Abrascato in the designated player spot, the 8th batter of this 3rd inning for Mizzou. 3 runs have scored, 2 are on base, 4 straight 2-out runners. Abrascato takes a strike. 3-2. And maybe, just maybe, the last pitch for Lopez coming up either way. Hay will be on the run from first. Gallagher's at 3rd, and Abrascato just nips it out of play. Freshman who's coming to camps at Hofstra, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade when Larissa Anderson was a head coach at Hofstra down on Long Island. Committed to the previous staff at Mizzou, followed Larissa here. She walks, and Missouri is going to bring up all 9 in the inning.
I would think we're going to see a pitching change here.
Too long. Had 2 out, 1 on. Laird singled, Honold doubled in 2. Gallagher walked, Hayes singled in a run, and Abrascato walked. So right on right with Clethermis and Crenshaw, the last Missouri starter to bat in the inning, and Crenshaw is granted time. 1 for 4 in her career against McKenna Clethermis. They matched up last year. The 1 hit was a home run.
You hear that pop of the mitt. Now Clethermis is going to bring the power after Brie Lopez really slowed things down with her mix of speeds. You're going to see Clethermis hit 70 miles an hour on the gun and be more of a power pitcher.
Well, Mizzou the 2nd time through. 3 hits, 2 walks, perfect. They made the adjustments against Lopez. Now they'll have to readjust against Clethermis. And her career at Oregon. Crenshaw goes out of the zone in protect mode on 2 strikes. Junior from O'Fallon, Missouri, Julie Crenshaw. Was such a highly touted player coming out of high school. One of the top prospects in the country. Was the Gatorade Softball Player of the Year in Mizzou, and had never ever caught or coming to Missouri. Starting catcher last season, starting catcher today. Played some second, played some left field. Larissa Anderson told us last year she reminded her of one of the great Major League Baseball catchers, JT Realmuto, who was with the Phillies. JT's sister coached with Larissa at Hofstra. He was a shortstop and a pitcher, converted to a catcher. She felt like Julia could do the same. Crenshaw drills one in the air the other way. That will be the inning. Clethermis strands 3. Missouri scored.
Coach Jamie Traxel. Coach, let's talk pitching first. What are you looking to get from McKenna now in the circle?
Just to get settled in. She's been ready for a while, and Grace and Bree have done a great job. So it's a great opportunity for her to get in there and just get settled in, get some good innings. But she's been ready for a while, and I expect her to have a good performance here.
How do you guys generate some offense starting in this inning moving forward?
Just, I think, stay disciplined at the plate. You know, we put some good balls in play, too. They attack early in the zone, so we want to make sure that we're ready and we're on time. We're on time and we have good entry into the zone to barrel up some balls here.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Howdy, toddy.
Alyssa, thank you. Attack early in the zone. That's what Jamie Traxel would like to see. Their team has 1 hit, 1 walk, both from Jayla Lassiter. They do have Paige Smith leading off in the 4th. And Ole Miss has a little bit of a mountain to climb here. 3-run third inning for Missouri, which has the lead into the fourth in the SEC tournament. Smith, Furbush, De Leon. 3 hitters who've had some pretty good success of late against Lauren Krings. Paige Smith 4 for 14 with a double, a home run, and 2 walks, career against Lauren Krings. Flat out to left field in the first inning.
Ball.
Paige Smith, the all-time games played and games started leader at Ole Miss. She broke the record on Saturday. Her former teammate Michaela Alley held it. This is 259 now for Paige. A high and shallow fly will be collected by Honold in center. And merrily and smoothly, Lauren Krings rolls along with only a single strikeout to her name, but very little hard contact against her through 3 1/3. Off speed strike starts Furbush. First pitch strikes now to 9 of 13. The stuff may not blow you away, but the location, the command, very good for Lauren Krings. Another pop-up, foul territory. Hay will give way to the catcher Crenshaw. Had it in the mitt.
Yeah, Hay lost it in the sun. You could tell she didn't see it at all, and then Crenshaw was the only person left to try to make a catch here, and had it in her glove. Just ended up popping out. You mentioned the command for Lauren Krings, though, and it was going into the Georgia series. Larissa Anderson had a conversation with Lauren Krings and asked her, hey, what do you need to be? What do you need to do to be successful? You tell me.
This time Hay finds it in the sun, and Furbush does foul out ultimately.
And Krings told her, I want to throw freely. I need to mix more. I don't want to be so worried about pinpoint location because I feel like I've been losing movement. So Coach Anderson gave her the freedom to move the ball more where it needed to be. And so instead of saying, all right, let's throw this curveball exactly 2 balls out, instead she says, let's throw a curveball out. And she lets Lauren Krings spin the ball more freely with movement. And that felt like that had been a turning point for Lauren Krings late in this season.
De Leon up in the air to right center field. Angelita De Leon smacks it off the top of the fence and slides in safely with an Ole Miss double. Very close to putting the Rebels on the board.
Well, and talking about throwing freely, I feel like De Leon has been swinging freely. Works in a deep window with that inside pitch and drives it more toward the right side up the middle of the field. Right on time. Coach Traxler was just talking about getting on time with Krings. De Leon does it for extra bases with 2 outs.
Attack early in the zone was the message from Jamie Traxel. A first pitch double sets up Lexi Brady. She attacks early on a ground ball to third. And despite the quick swings, Lauren Krings has a scoreless 4.
Have you changed the way you go about your stop signs at third base lately for any reason at all?
I need to, or I need to get a bodyguard or an offensive lineman to be able to block me.
Are you at all concerned that Drink's going to steal her to be a running back next year?
Well, supposedly she has a tryout when we get back on campus, but she's already verbally committed to play for Drink.
Love it. What do you make of the way your team has started this game so far?
I mean, we're coming out, we're aggressive, we're making adjustments, and I really like how Krings is keeping them off balance right now, so we just got to continue to fight 1 pitch at a time.
Thank you, Coach.
MIZ.
Larissa Anderson is a terrific sport about that whole situation. Getting run over by Cara Daly a couple of days ago. She's still standing in pretty much the same spot, maybe a little bit deeper behind the coach's box. It's a game of adjustments. And here is Cara Daly leading off the inning in the 4th. Now Cara has the kind of power that you have to be careful of as a third base coach, not just when she rounds the bases, but for line drives. She can really hit it. Lined out to shortstop her first time, the Missouri junior. Two strikes from McKenna Cleathermos. Came on in the third inning with the bases loaded, 2 out. Retired Crenshaw on a fly ball. And retires Daly on a 3-pitch strikeout.
McKenna Cleathermos ends up going to her curveball. Also has just a little bit of up movement to that pitch too. Cleathermos, we talked about her best swing and miss pitch is that rise ball. She gets a swing and miss on her rise ball 38% of the time. One of the best swing and misses on a rise ball percentages in the country.
Ball.
First 3 years were at Oregon. She's done really well keeping the ball in the park, which is a struggle for some rise ball pitchers. He's only allowed 5 home runs in 82 1/3 innings. 3 of those 5, by the way, were against Miami, Ohio. And if you haven't seen Miami, Ohio play, all they do is hit home runs. So just 2 home runs allowed in SEC play for McKenna Cleathermos, who's got the best ERA of her career at her final season.
And Coach Traxel talked about how Cleathermos's mentality has grown. The confidence and just the comfort feeling of being at Ole Miss have just continued to build and build. And also, Coach Traxel felt like her drop ball and changeup have become more consistent to get those pitches as strikes in the zone, which is only going to make her strengths that she already has with her curveball and rise ball even better if that changeup and drop ball have gotten more consistent this year.
Swing and a miss. Back-to-back punch outs. Cleathermos gets Daly and Langer.
Going all up so far in the zone in her outing so far. This looks like a curveball again, still more upspin too. So it not only curves, it breaks up as well. Back-to-back changeups basically on the same pitch, right? Righty on righty matchup, goes to that curveball with a bit more upspin too and gets swings and misses in the zone.
2 down for Claire Cahalan.
Ball.
This is why Jamie Traxel likes to use multiple pitchers in a game. This is why she likes to use a full staff approach, because everybody has such a different look. A ground ball off the mid of Cleathermos, and that will enable Cahalan, the freshman, to reach just her 4th hit of the year.
Puts the ball on the ground and they go to more of a drop ball down in the zone. She's able to get the top of it, hit it right to the ground and see if they can make a play, and they can't. Cleathermos trying to field her position. Just can't come away with that grab.
Top of the order here is Jenna Laird. Seven of the 9 Missouri batters have now reached 2 times through the lineup. Everybody except for Crenshaw and Daly.
Ball just outside.
Jenna Laird and Alex Hoddle were big parts of the Missouri team 2 years ago that made it to the SEC championship game. Laird puts the ball in the air to left. Pone ducks in to make the catch on the line. A scoreless 4th for Cleathermos. Ole Miss needs some runs.
See him right here at the SEC tournament, and he's adorable, precious, super calm. And here's the story behind it. her mom, Stephanie, told me that after a 5-year career, Delaney is ready for the next step in a fellowship with the NCAA, and she decided that she wanted a companion. So Toby is actually her master's graduation gift.
Well, amazing.
It's a great gift.
What could be a better gift than a puppy?
I don't know of one, especially one that's that cute, and it was so calm.
Incredibly calm. You would think it's 8 or 9 weeks by looking at it, not by its demeanor. Rummel with a ground ball to shortstop. She's retired by Laird. I'll just say, I have a dog. I love dogs. Nobody loved dogs like you. I feel like I don't have a dog because of the way that you squeal over every dog that has ever existed in your orbit.
They make me
quite
happy.
endearing.
We saw Junebug earlier today,
Junebug.
and if anybody else wants to bring us any puppies here at Auburn, we'll welcome them with open arms.
I assume that's why the camera's in the booth, right? There's a puppy following behind. Fouled away by Jamie McKay. Is Junebug still here? Is she still here? No, but she was here earlier.
Oh, that's little Junebug, Shelby Lowe's puppy. Oh, Shelby brought Junebug up so that we could see her. I just think, too, what a great graduation gift. I mean, what's cool about that story is that I went directly for the dog, but then I met the family and Delaney's great mom, Stephanie, who was super nice, and then finding out the story that it's a graduation gift. I mean, everything kind of came together for that story, and it just started with a cute doggy.
Went to Illinois, 232 games started, end of the weekend. A terrific player, Rummel, but she has been retired twice here. Everybody on Ole Miss has been retired except for Lassiter, who's walked and singled, and De Leon, who's doubled. Just 3 base runners as Lauren Krings rolls along with 1 strikeout but 4 1/3 scoreless innings in her pocket.
Oh, good.
Leadoff walk to start the game. A very good runner, a sacrifice bunt. Krings has really been unfazed since then. Just in case things go south. Marissa McCann, Natalie Touche up in the Missouri bullpen.
Ball.
But it has been a seemingly stress-free afternoon for Missouri's pitcher. She's making it look easy, as she often does. It's a hot day, too. It's a sticky day. It's a humid day. We've seen teams do different things to keep their players cool in the dugout. Alyssa, what has Missouri done to keep Lauren Krings cool?
Yeah, so earlier we saw Kayla Beaver utilizing baby powder to keep her throwing arm dry. Lauren Krings has been utilizing something that Missouri has in the dugout. It's a cooling mitt, so it's something you can put your hand into, and it helps keep your muscles temperature lower so that your muscles can work harder and for longer in these hot temperatures when your nerve fibers aren't regenerating fast enough. So I've seen her go over to the dugout, put her left hand in there, put her right hand in there. I'm not sure that it really matters which hand, like if it's her throwing hand that she sticks in there, the effect is the same, just keeping that internal temperature lower. It's really cool, and I'm trying to figure out how I can go over there and use it.
You deserve it. You're going to have the longest day of anybody here. That's popped up to Gallagher by McKay. We did find out from Larissa Anderson, it's not easy to get a cooling mitt, though. You need to know some special people to be able to track down a special cooling mitt.
Yeah, either Olympians or professional athletes can get one. And Stanford actually was the one who patented this cooling mitt. It's a thermal regulation mitt. And Coach Anderson was actually watching the World Series. She thought back in like 2011 and saw it.
To third, Star, and a bunt ground out ends the inning. A 1-2-3 fifth.
They're in the lead.
3 seniors, 2 freshmen, the top 5 in the lineup. They've all reached. All in that 3rd inning for Mizzou, which is 6 defensive outs away from the SEC quarterfinals. Missouri 8 and 9 all time at the SEC tournament. And getting boosted by Hollow, who had struggled to start her SEC tournament career. Only 2 RBIs. 1 double in 8 games. Match those numbers on 1 swing in the 3rd. And she gets hit by Cleathermos, and in fact then it ricocheted and hit Brady in the mask. A double whammy of a hit by pitch. Brady being checked by a member of the Ole Miss staff.
Right there on this side of your mask. You don't really get hit there a lot.
I can't remember seeing a ball bounce off a thigh into a catcher's mask like that. That is one magic softball. Tough afternoon to catch as well. It's 90 degrees. It's humid. Couple of warm-up pitches for Brady's benefit, and she gives Cleathermos the all clear. Good day for some ice cream, which appears to be in need of a refill right now. Sun is out, toasty day here at the SEC tournament. 2 more games to come. Georgia and Auburn in the 7-10 game, and then Mississippi State, South Carolina in the 6-11. Even longer day because of the 14 innings we had in the first game. LSU beating Alabama 3-2. There are the Bulldog fans ready for game 3. Amazing job, by the way, by our crew, our camera operators, our folks who are out in the field who have been out there in the heat and the sun all day. Starr from short gets one at second, just beat out at first by the hustling Gallagher. 6-4 the fielder's choice. This is how you cope right here.
Are you a snow cone person? Do you like them?
I have not had a snow cone in a long time, but I would happily have a snow cone on a day like today. I'm not opposed to it. Are you a snow cone person?
I'm not anti, but I'm probably not going to go for it.
Yeah, we feel similarly.
Yeah.
Glad we just learned something crucial about each other. Popped up by Hay. She's 1 for 3. So Cleathermos has done well in relief. She's now faced every batter in the lineup except for this one, Abriscato.
Ball.
Now that she is one time through the lineup, yesterday's starter Sparks is joined by Caitlin Riley and the Ole Miss bullpen.
Ball.
So many choices for pitchers on the Missouri staff, or excuse me, on the Ole Miss staff, but Missouri likes to work their pitching staff too in a slightly different way, where Ole Miss, their innings are pretty evenly split. Missouri has some pretty decisive roles with starters and then middle relief with McCann and a closer and Pennell.
Ball.
So they use their staff in a different way with more set roles.
And we'll see how Larissa Anderson uses Krings, because she's about to, if she comes back out, face the top of the lineup a 3rd time. They have the lead in the 7th in a close game. They typically will go to Pennell, who saved 12 games, the most in Division I. Has a .82 ERA while doing it, by the way.
Ball.
3-1 is inside. Cleathermos loses Abriscato, who walks for a 2nd time today.
I think based off of the Ole Miss at bats, they haven't hit Krings hard much at all. Just a couple of hits that she's given up, and really Krings will be out there. We'll see her in the 6th inning for sure. I'd be shocked if we didn't.
Ball.
How many times when you pitched, and it was not that long ago when you pitched, were there conversations about a third time through the order? And it feels like the game has changed pretty dramatically in that respect.
Not a lot more data too on those numbers. I don't even know if the coaching staff knew first, second, third time through the order what the batting average was against me. But in some regards, you go a little bit more by feel. And I think that that's the challenge for a lot of pitching coaches and coaches in general, is balancing the numbers with balancing the feel and just your gut feeling of the game. Everybody's trying to balance that.
Ball.
And then how many numbers as a player do you want?
Yeah.
Some players want to be overloaded with data. Some just want their heads to be free. 2-1 to Crenshaw is flying out to right field, both at bats.
Ball.
You think you would have wanted more information when you played?
I go back and forth about that all the time, because I think I would have stressed about the information that I got, and it may have been too much at first, and then I think I would have gotten the hang of it and used it to my advantage.
Time called here, Bruzan. 3-1.
Ball inside.
Which is inside, and the second consecutive walk handed out by Clee Thermos. You keep her in if you're Jamie Traxel?
Yeah, well, first of all, Ole Miss coaching staff not real happy with the strike zone, it seems like, and I think maybe because of that we might see a pitching change here. It just seems like the command for Clee Thermos just all of a sudden vanished in this inning after the hit by pitch to lead off the inning.
Well, Mizzou's going to first of all bring up Katie Chester as a pinch hitter.
12, yeah, just missed in. Okay.
Credential access only into the bullpen. You can still peek over, though.
They were posted up watching the Ole Miss pitchers warm up for a long time. Thought that was really cool. You get such close access.
They're still waving to them down there. If only I could grow a mullet like that at my age, you know?
It's never too late.
You don't think so?
I think you could do it.
By World Series?
Oh, no chance. Yeah, 2025.
Right. It's never too late, but you didn't give me a timeline. Well, Katie Chester has started 36 games this year, but Larissa Anderson told us she does not like to start her because she wants her available off the bench. She is their best pinch hitter.
Good.
And Larissa Anderson has bided her time and has chosen her moment. Chester batting for Daly with the bases full of Tigers and 2 down in the 5th.
Ball.
And talk about knowing your players and knowing their personality and their focus. Coach Anderson told us that she feels like when Katie Chester pinch hits that she puts her full concentration into that one at bat. When she's in the lineup consistently, that she doesn't quite see that same level of attention to detail. Her intent is different as a pinch hitter.
She's 4 for 10 as a pinch hitter, though she is down 1 and 2. Sophomore from Liberty, Missouri is at .350 on the year, runners in scoring position. Trying to fight back against a good strikeout pitcher in Clee Thermos.
See if she goes to that rise, get her to chase.
She did not.
She didn't. Went to her changeup, her off-speed pitch, and Clee Thermos throws so hard, 70, 71, that her off-speed pitch is 63.
Now, if you're reading swings as a pitcher, does that tell you to go to the rise?
I kind of just like to go to my strengths and rely more on that to make a pitch, especially when I'm working from ahead. If it's, I think it's a different situation. If it's 2-0, 2-1, you have to be a little bit more careful.
Another 1-2. There's the rise, and there's the hold.
That was a hard take, too. Great take by Chester. Almost went after that.
Her mind and her body in sync to prepare now for a 2-2. Drilled but foul out toward the Missouri bullpen. The 13 seed Ole Miss maybe needing one more win to feel truly safe about its NCAA tournament future. A 7th pitch of the at-bat to the pinch hitter Chester.
Ball.
Up and in. Another terrific take. So start the merry-go-round with Gallagher, Abrascano, and Crenshaw. 3-2, 2 out, and the bases full of Missouri Tigers. Chester down the line in left field, and that ball hangs up for Pone. Clee Thermos escapes it, keeps the Rebels in the fight.
Welcome, my friend. More than welcome.
Into the 6th we go. Jalen Lassiter will lead off for Ole Miss. And Lassiter pops one up to Honnold in center, and she's retired for the first time today. So Lauren Krings back out there to face the lineup a 3rd time. Lauren Krings has been awesome. Only one strikeout, Amanda, but hard to remember many hard hit balls against her.
I mean, a runner hasn't even gotten to 3rd base in this game against her.
Facing Jaden Pone, who sacrifice bunted and grounded out. 70% strikes coming into the inning for Krings. There's another one. Big pitch today's been the curveball. 44% curveballs in the first 5 innings. 93% of those for strikes. How do you get through a game without striking people out? Just throw strikes. And she's done that. 15 out of 20 first pitch strikes. A brilliant outing.
Ball.
A little low, 1-1 for Pone. Missouri 16th in the nation in ERA, 2.11, the 5th best in SEC games. Time for the 2nd fewest walks in SEC games, and the only walk was the first batter of the game in Lassiter. Pone slaps one to a drawn-in Daly at 3rd, who fires to first for the out and off the pole. And the all-time leader in games played at Ole Miss, maybe with one more shot to keep the Rebels alive here in the SEC tournament, trying to extend what has been a stellar career for Jamie Traxel and for the Ole Miss Rebels.
Coach Traxel said that she wanted to come back for her 5th year, wanting to leave her legacy. Has had conversations with Paige about how her name will be up there in Ole Miss softball history and in a lot of different areas and categories with the legacy that she's going to leave, and a little SEC tournament legacy too for Ole Miss past couple of years.
Ball.
He said she and Ansley Furbush, the 2 longest standing players she coached here, have stayed committed to Ole Miss, and their legacy will reflect that. And the other players and coaches feel the responsibility and the ownership of getting these kids to the postseason. A slow ground ball to short. It's been the Lauren Krings show. Her defense, flawless, is in the house.
Ball. Inside.
Been a great environment so far for the 13-12 game that did not feature a home team. We had a terrific crowd yesterday, good energy these first 2 games, and it should be terrific when the homestanding Auburn Tigers take the field. Face a Georgia team that disappointed by finishing 7th, but has so much offensive firepower.
That'll be a fun one to watch. I'm sure Maddie Penta will get that start and go up against those Georgia hitters, seniors. They're big offense that can hit the ball out of the ballpark at any time.
Could be the last Auburn home game for Mickey Dean as well, who's going to step down at the end of the season after a terrific coaching career. 7 seasons with Auburn, hoping for some more late season magic in his last one. McKenna Cleathermos 3-1 to Kaylee Langer. Cahalan and Laird to follow. 8-9-1 for Mizzou. The Tigers have only used one player off the bench in this game, the pinch hitter Chester in the 5th. They've rolled with the starters otherwise. They've rolled with the starter Krings. They've had no reason not to. Down the line and right, that ball will land foul.
Yeah, I feel like for these early games before Auburn has even played, we've had a decent sized crowd here going to last night, the 12 versus 13.
The rotating sites for the SEC tournament, which changes home every year. A strikeout for Cleathermos, kicks off the bottom of the 6th as she gets Langer for the 2nd time. So Mizzou, a little bit quietly, is in a great spot as far as postseason goes. They're 9 right now in the RPI. Top 8 teams, as selected by the committee, will be super regional hosts. It's not automatically the top 8 RPIs, though we know that's a huge factor. Very good strength of schedule. 11-12 against the top 25. Non-conference strength of schedule is 84, which could hold Missouri back a tiny bit, but it is a strong resume. And they've done a lot of their damage away from home. They really just took off for the road in the non-conference. The NFCA Division I Leadoff Classic, the Tracy Beard College Classic, the Mary Nutter, the Big Red Invitational. Their first home game, true home game, was March 8th, Auburn. So a ton of neutral site wins, ton of road wins. Looking for another neutral site win today is Cahalan. I teased this about 4 innings ago. You might as well answer it now. Tennessee, legitimate World Series contender. Who else? Who else from the SEC could make a run to the World Series and win some games at the World Series?
I think so much of it will depend on matchups, which I know is such a cop-out answer, but
as long as you know it. There's a base hit to right by Jenna Laird, who is on base for a 3rd time. And it does change this time of year. But most dangerous teams right now maybe going into the postseason.
I think Arkansas is looking pretty good despite losing 2 of 3 to this Ole Miss team that played really motivated toward the end of the season. I like that team and the way that they've grown over the course of the season. And I put Missouri. I think that Missouri is going to be a tough team to play in the postseason as well. And I wouldn't ever count out LSU with their senior leadership and the pitching that they have with Berzon. As we saw her do today, throw 14 innings. She can beat anybody if they could just score a couple of runs for her, which they have the potential to do with the players that they have on their roster.
It's interesting to me, and I know you're not negating these teams. It's interesting that you didn't start with Florida and A&M, the 2 and 3 seeds, who had really good years, but maybe have a fatal flaw or 2 possibly in there.
I think A&M, when Emily Kennedy is on and they're scoring a few runs for her, is fantastic. I worry at times maybe about the pitching depth behind her, and same can go for Florida with their young pitching staff. Ava Brown and Keegan Rothrock are freshmen, so those are my concerns there. They've given up more runs as the season went on, although the sweep against A&M, they look fantastic.
Can they get some pitching? Can they slug their way to a title? They'll both play tomorrow. Has 3 outs left to get 3 runs and add to its resume in hopes of an at-large bid. The only team whose NCAA tournament fate is uncertain in the conference. They're either going to go 12 for 13 or 13 for 13. And it's Furbush, De Leon, and Brady in the middle of the Ole Miss order against Lauren Krings. Furbush slams one in the air, right center field, and that ball is gone. Ansley Furbush does not want Ole Miss's resume to be done. The super senior, in perhaps her final at-bat in Rebel colors, has Ole Miss on the board in the 7th.
Such a powerful hitter in the cleanup spot for Ole Miss, and she gets this curveball. Again, works in a deep window the way that De Leon did, and her double that went the opposite way. This is a similar place, except this one gets over the wall instead of just for a double like De Leon's. But this ball was absolutely smashed, continue to travel, breaks up the shutout, and also we'll see Lauren Krings come.
7 games now, Ansley Furbush with an RBI in 8 of her last 9. And if she's not the hottest hitter for Ole Miss, Angelina De Leon is. Tying run on deck as Pinnell starts by spinning in a beautiful changeup.
She goes to that changeup a lot, as well as her curveball coming from the left-hand side.
De Leon doubled in the 4th.
Hey.
Ooh. Nice pitch. 2 changeups in a row to get ahead 0-2.
And now if you're De Leon, you have no idea what's coming. Stays back on a pitch that was maybe like a mile per hour harder, up to 49. It seemed harder, but it's still super slow, which gives you an idea of what it feels like when Taylor Pinnell throws at a normal speed. He's given up 2 runs only twice in a game this year. This is her 23rd outing.
Ball.
Just missed a little bit low.
Every pitch that she's thrown has been off speed in this outing. Changeup again. Oh, it's so close. Pitcher's pitch, location. Crenshaw trying to frame it up and get the call.
Popped up by De Leon behind the plate. There's not a lot of room out there, and Crenshaw runs out quickly.
Last year, Pinnell's ERA was 3.28. And this year, with it being sub-1 coming into this game, big improvement for her in her sophomore year.
A slow ground ball to a drawn-in Daly. Results in the first out in the top of the 7th. Lexi Brady gets a little scouting report there from Angelina De Leon on her way back to the dugout. If we could distill it down, it's probably prepare for slow.
Ball.
Well, they need a base runner. And Lexi Brady's better at getting on base than anybody in the lineup. .457 on base percentage at team high. Leads him in walks, leads him in times hit by a pitch. Brady blasts one down the line in left field, and that ball hooks out of play.
We have some higher foul poles here at Auburn, and that went well above even the bigger foul poles that they have here. Some foul poles in some old fields are still so little, and the ball goes so high and so far now. We need those bigger, taller ones.
Ball.
Just a sky-scraping strike as Brady takes ball 2. The Ole Miss junior catcher with 13 home runs, 2 away from the single season record.
Hey.
Takes a called strike, 2-2 from Taylor Pinnell. Rommel the tying run on deck if Brady can reach.
Ball. Outside.
Well, this is what you get with Lexi Brady. Most walks on the team, most strikeouts on the team. She lives in full counts. Another one blasted, another one way foul.
Got to be careful. The bottom of the order has not reached base in this game for Ole Miss. You have Delaney Rummel on deck. It's 0 for 2.
Brady takes a little high. Ball 4, and Ole Miss will bring the tying run to the plate with 1 out in the 7th. A terrific plate appearance by Brady. 7 pitches. And let's see if Delaney Rummel can add a hit or get on base of some kind to that graduation gift. See if she can do it for Toby.
And Pennell is just not getting that changeup that's a little bit more up in the zone and on the inner half to these right-handed hitters. Called for a strike. Did the same pitch to Brady, didn't get it. Or was it to Rummel, didn't get it. And the lefty-righty splits too for Pennell are pretty drastic. At one point a couple of weeks ago, righties were batting .289 off of her and lefties .115. Those have evened out a little bit more to be just 100 points separated instead of 170 points separated.
Rummel, left center field, well struck but poorly placed. Hono's there, and Ole Miss is down to its final out.
Number 20, Jamie McKay.
It'll be Jamie McKay last into the box for Ole Miss. Strike 1 from Pennell. McKay is 0 for 2, the sophomore right fielder.
Ball.
Back-to-back series wins to end the year. Went over Kentucky yesterday. Uncertain if it's enough to get Ole Miss into the NCAA tournament. They're hoping for one more late surge.
Ball.
Ball 2 for Jamie McKay.
You would think maybe their RPI would go down even just playing number 9 Missouri. Even if they lose, you would think, but
Ball.
we'll see tomorrow.
It's Jamie McKay, the former U.S. women's national baseball team player, joined this program having never played softball. He's trying to extend this game. 3-1 in the 7th. McKay takes a big rip and pops it up to the right side. And the second baseman Gallagher seals a 3-1 win for Missouri. right off the pole. And the all-time leader in games played at Ole Miss, maybe with one more shot to keep the Rebels alive here in the SEC tournament, trying to extend what has been a stellar career for Jamie Traxel and for the Ole Miss Rebels.
Coach Traxel said that she wanted to come back for her 5th year, wanting to leave her legacy. Has had conversations with Paige about how her name will be up there in Ole Miss softball history and in a lot of different areas and categories with the legacy that she's going to leave, and a little SEC tournament legacy too for Ole Miss past couple years.
Ball.
He said she and Ansley Furbush, the 2 longest standing players she coached here, have stayed committed to Ole Miss, and their legacy will reflect that. And the other players and coaches feel the responsibility and the ownership of getting these kids to the postseason. A slow ground ball to short. It's been the Lauren Kring show. Her defense flawless.